What neurobiological research is really showing us is it's confirming what we know from intervention research, and that is there are kids who have reading disabilities, there are kids who have dyslexia, and so with fMRI scans we're now able to see that there is what we call a classical signature brain activation. And so what it really shows us is that reading disabilities are real, dyslexia is real, but then also what we know from research on reading intervention is that kids with dyslexia can be taught to read.
I think one of the most common challenges that schools and districts encounter is that there is still lots of confusion and a reluctance to use the D word, to use the word dyslexia in the context of how it is that schools believe themselves able to address the issue of dyslexia.
A lot of people, particularly special educators, will find that we have the IDA, so we have protections for kids with reading disabilities, kids with dyslexia under the category of specific learning disability. But what the IDA laws do is they go beyond the IDA. So some common things that the laws address, they're going to talk about universal screening for students, which is great so we can catch kids early. The other thing that the laws are going to do is they're going to talk about what happens with teacher training, teacher preparation, to make sure that the right information is getting to teachers before they go out into the classrooms, and then also just talking about what's happening in schools in terms of kinds of content, curriculum, things that are happening in terms of professional development.
I wish every teacher in every classroom dealing with every child understood what it meant to read. I think there's a science of reading that is just not well understood, that hasn't been unpacked in pre-service, that isn't part of the understanding of how teachers teach every child to read. I think there's just a lot of work that we need to do to understand. You could have a child who's never taught properly how to read, will look like a child with dyslexia after he or she is screened, but that's not a child with a disorder. So I think we need to reframe what it is that we as an education endeavor think about literacy in the context of reading, certainly using the construct of dyslexia as a framework to understand emergent structured literacy, and just do a better job.
CEC TV is brought to you from the Council for Exceptional Children. For more content like this, check out some of our other videos and learn more about the latest in education for people with disabilities.